Greetings. How are you?
I am doing well. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you. We are very excited to have you with us today. Greetings to all of our viewers. We are excited about this particular book talk, which is an amazing opportunity for you all to learn about the journey of self-love and healing, which is lifelong. And our expert today is going to be sharing with us her new publication that is out, that is available for you all as you view through the book exhibit. So welcome to the Dr. Muhammad Experience virtual conference on children of incarcerated parents, focusing on success and resilience. We are excited today for our book talk as it relates to self-love, a silent revolution. Did you hear that, guys? A silent revolution. Such powerful words. Today, we're going to have an opportunity to hear from our esteemed author and publisher of this particular book. And this will give you an opportunity to get to personalize the authors behind these particular books. We really hope that you consider purchasing. There will be opportunities to have bulk orders. If you guys are interested and are instructors and interested in using this for any of your coursework that's related to children of incarcerated parents or mass incarceration in the United States, we're also going to talk about how you can get in contact with the author. So let's get started. If you could just introduce yourself to the audience and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hello, you guys. Thank you so much for having me. My name is Quanice Jones. I go by Quanice Raquelle, and I am the author of Self-Love, A Silent Revolution. I am currently a student at Central Connecticut State University. I'm in their social work program. I have aspirations of continuing with my education and completing my master's degree and becoming a clinician. I would like to be a marriage and family therapist, and I would like to specialize in trauma.
Wow, so powerful. So as I, went through your website, I was just amazed. Just by all of the information and all of the really powerful quotes that you highlighted. And one of the things that stood out to me is your idea of self-love as a silent revolution. Can you please give us a little bit of insight into that?
Yes. So as you guys will see when you read my bio, I really emphasized on self-love being a silent revolution because being a Black woman in a world that is constantly it just being in a world that constantly makes you question yourself, constantly makes you question whether you're good enough, that's constantly telling you you need to be more of this or more of that, or just the fact that you have to be more of everything just to be able to succeed. And I went through so much in my life trying to feel validated and feel accepted. And I hurt myself a lot in the process. And loving myself took a very, very long time. And a lot of times, I often felt like I was in a battle, and not just with outside people, but just within myself, just fighting past those self-limiting beliefs and fighting past what my mental would tell me. I'm a product of molestation. I'm here because my father was in prison for the majority of my life. So I had a lot of daddy issues growing up, and I just always felt like I was never good enough. And I wrote a book about it because I finally got to the point where I love myself, and I just felt like that loving yourself is revolutionary. And that's how I got my title.
Wow, that is so powerful. And I'm excited because I think so many young individuals need to hear this, but also older individuals. I mean, we
Yes.
struggle across the lifespan. And I see that you talk about healing is, lifelong.
Yes.
Can you give us a little bit of insight into that component, specifically as it relates to the healing of parental incarceration?
Yes. So I believe that healing is lifelong. And I believe because throughout your life and throughout your journey, I always reference my healing journey because it's not a destination. It's something that you will continue to navigate. And it's not a one track thing. It can look all over the place. And a lot of times, especially in my personal journey, I thought that I was regressing, but in reality, I was really moving forward and through some things that were just uncomfortable. So, it's just dark and you don't really know until you start to experience. So I believe that each point of my life, I knew that I was healing because I started to be different. My outside started to look different. My outside started to reflect what I really felt about myself. And I just believe that, you know, as you continue to move and navigate your journey, you become better and better. And I also believe that you can also inspire and bring others into your journey. My self-love journey has been a catalyst for healing between my mother, generational curses, and just breaking, you know, the stigma of women and mother and daughter and Black families, and how, you know, we have to be in competition and we don't really love each other or support each other. I don't have that issue because everything that I've learned on my journey, I bring it back home, because it's not just about me. You know, it's very important for me to, all the lessons and everything I'm learning, to bring it back home. And I truly believe that, you know, when a woman heals herself, she heals all the women that come before her. Oh. And, you know, that has definitely been a part of my journey. So I definitely feel like it is a lifelong thing, and something's always going to be coming up, you know.
Wow, that is so powerful. When you heal yourself, you are healing generations, I mean, forward and backwards. I mean,
yes,
that statement alone is extremely powerful. Thank you for that. So who is this book for? Who were you thinking about when you sat down and completed this beautiful work?
This book is for any person who has felt lost in their life. I spent many, many years feeling lost. As I said, not even recognizing that those periods of being lost, I wasn't really lost. I was exactly where I was supposed to be. So this book is for the people who feel lost, the people who feel unseen, the people who don't feel that love and validation. I wrote this book for you because I want to give you hope. And I want you to remember that you matter. And I want you to know that you're loved. Even if no one around you can support that, I wanted to give you that, because you matter. Whether I know you or not, you matter. You're valid. You're important in this world, and you have purpose. So I wrote that book for anyone who has doubted that, anyone who has carried shame, anyone who has carried guilt about their past, anyone who has felt like that there's not a God out there that's for them because of what they've been through.
Right. Wow. So how do you break the book down? Are the chapters really long? Are they short? What are people getting into once they open up the book?
So I open up the book and I just tell a little bit about my relationship with love and how I actually begin my journey. I tell about, you know, going through a very detrimental heartbreak at the age of 21, and I was in a relationship with my best friend, and we grew up together, and it was probably one of the most toxic relationships that I had ever been in. And after being in that relationship, I just begin the healing journey. So I just go back and speak about, you know, my relationship and my up and down feelings and just denying myself of love. And then I just take it back to, you know, my childhood, because I believe that you can't understand yourself until you go back and unpack that childhood trauma. Right. So as a social work student, I kind of, you know, wrote it in sequence. So I tell you a little bit about myself and about self-love, but then I take you back to where I've come from. I mentioned my mother, I mentioned my father, the environment that I grew up in. I mentioned that my mother was, you know, a drug addict, and you know, my mother was 17 and she was a part of the crack epidemic. And, you know, my mother had me at 17 addicted to crack. And my mother, you know, fought through so many different things to get through that period of time. And my mother, you know, a lot of her friends and family didn't make it out of that period, and my mother did. And, you know, so I highlight just a lot of the trauma that we've been through, that I've been through in my family, and how, you know, it kind of was influenced by systems, and how a lot of the feelings of low self-worth was influenced by a lot of the environments that I was in. I talk about being a student in school and, you know, being very smart and being in honors classes, but not being in classes with other Black girls that look like me, and feeling like an outcast because I had professors who didn't understand where I come from, or would try to make me feel as if I'm ghetto because of the weight of my name, Quanice, and it being, with a Q, and, just making me feel like an outcast and not good enough. And like I said, a lot of those feelings that I felt, I had to go back and try to get to the root and see, where did I develop those beliefs? So that is how, the book goes. It goes through my childhood, then it goes through, my high school and my adult relationships and becoming a mother to my present.
Wow, that is amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that. So just wanting to ask you a little bit about the process of writing a book. A lot of the children of incarcerated parents that are participating in the conference have a story to tell, and you are an entrepreneur. I mean, you've taken your story, you've taken your narrative and putting it in a space that individuals can read and reflect and grow and, become inspired and empowered. How difficult was it for you to actually write this book and get it out?
It was difficult. It was not difficult to write the book because, like you said, we all have a story inside of us. So it wasn't difficult for me to tell my story. The writing aspect was not difficult. As long as I disciplined myself enough to sit down and actually be transparent and honest with myself and not try to control what I was trying to say, but actually I wanted the reader to really feel what I was going through and really feel the emotions. So I just wanted to make sure that I was as transparent as possible and as honest as possible, and really just sharing that vulnerability. So that was difficult about writing, just being honest, because being honest with you guys, I had to get real honest with myself.
Right.
And some of those things were painful to go through. So, writing was not difficult, but the vulnerability aspect was. Then we go to the editing process, seeing all of that stuff. You guys, when I started this, I had no resources. I did not know anyone who wrote any books. I had nobody. And that's when I don't know what to do, I trust God and I ask God to guide my steps.
Yes.
And God told me to write this book. And I said, God, I said, you gave me this assignment and you told me to do it. Please send me the resources that can help me produce this book. And when I like, it blows my mind, because literally every resource came as I continued to reach out. I got a lot of no's and I got a lot of, no, this is not the one. But when I finally did settle and decide to, work with who I wanted to help me edit my book and format my book, and my graphic designer, I wanted whoever I worked with to be aligned with what I believed in. That was important for me, because I wanted to make sure that it reached a magnitude of people, and I wanted to do it in excellence, and I wanted to do it right. And everything that I desired came to fruition, and I can only thank God. So God really had an influence. He literally guided my steps. So, I talk a lot about how God plays a major role in my life, and he influences everything I do and every move that I make. And I don't make moves without incorporating him. So, I definitely, that worked for me. And as I said, you may not see how it's going to go, but that's where the faith kicks in. God will send you everybody you need. He will send you, he will make sure it happens. Trust me.
Nice. That's beautiful. So this is a divine intervention. And what I'm hearing is that this book will select individuals just like individuals will select the book. So if this book speaks to you and you are in our virtual audience today, please make sure that you click the link, check out the website, and purchase a few copies. If you know individuals that are on a life journey and are in search of self-love, maybe you could gift them with that greatness. As we're closing out, how can individuals get in contact with you? What are your social media handles?
You can find me on Instagram. I'm on Instagram. My Instagram handle is withlovequanice_, or you can directly find me on my website. My website is www.quanice, QuaniceRaquelle.com. And that's QuaniceRaquelle.com. Or you can, as I said before, Instagram with Love Quanice.
Okay, and I know in our audience and in our chat box throughout the conferences and just engaging with schools and universities, if professors are interested in using this book to teach any of their classes, it falls under sociology, it
Yes,
falls under education, it'll fall under social work. There are so many disciplines, if you
right.
actually think about it. What is the best way for them to get in contact with you?
The best way for them to get in contact with me is via my email. My email is I am Queenie, and Queenie is spelled QUEENIEE79 @gmail.com. That's my personal email. And you can contact me on my email if interested in bulk orders or anything like that. Contact me directly. I would love to supply you guys and help all kids, all students, anywhere. As you said, this book touches a lot of discipline, and I think that it can definitely allow a person, to see and recognize from each level all of the different milestones that a person reaches. It goes through literally everything from attachment style to parenting, mistrust versus distrust. So it just touches a lot on everything.
Okay, thank you for that. And then what message would you have for children of incarcerated parents in our audience today? What is it that you want to share with them that's connected to this book?
I wanted to share with you that of everything on my healing journey, what was most important, the biggest lesson is forgiveness, and forgiveness of myself. So I want you guys to forgive yourself, and for you to know that there are a lot of factors that influence where you are in your life, a lot of them being beyond your control. And I want you to know that it's not your fault where you are. The fact that one of your parents may have been or have been in this, judicial system in jail, and it's not your fault. I think that as a child, I internalized my dad not being there a lot. And I internalized that, and it made me feel like, why, like as if something was wrong with me. And I want you guys to know that it's nothing wrong with you. It's a part of your process. And you can use this for your good. You can use this for someone else to help, and for your own healing. You can use this to be an influence on other people, to help them navigate and to know how to manage being a child without that parent, and how to survive it. You're a survivor. Whether your parent is still incarcerated or not, you are still a survivor. And I want to give you hope, and I want you to know that you're important, that you're loved, that you have a purpose, that you have a story, and that what's happening to you is not by accident. We all have a plan for our life, and I just want to encourage you to use it for some good. Use it to give someone else hope. Use it to connect, to unite, to bring love.
Wow. Queen Quanice, you heard it directly from her. Thank you so much for all the work that you're doing in terms of blazing trails forward for children of incarcerated parents, specifically Black women.
Yes.
Oftentimes we are missing from the dialogue and missing from the conversation. And it's just so warming to my heart that you answered the call of God. You answered and you wrote the book that you were summoned to write. Thank you so much, and I hope that individuals purchase this. I know after this talk, I'll be going in and purchasing 10 copies, so definitely look out for that. I am teaching a course starting next week after the conference is done on children of incarcerated parents, and I think this would be great to add to that syllabus. So
Yes.
please DM me just so that I could make sure that I have your information at the top of my box, so that we could talk about possibly having you Zoom into that class as well with those students. It's a small seminar, but I know it would be a treat for them to read about the effects of parental incarceration and then see the resilience through you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.